Hey, welcome back. I've got a quick unboxing video I want to do. So, as the theme of Eldar is continuing, I picked up some Shining Spears. I've been looking at this kit for at least a year at this point. And, you know, basically since they came out, whenever that was. And it's just exciting to finally have so many of these plastic kits available, replacing the old pewter and mixed kits, the hybrid plastic pewters. I mean, some of these have been out for Eldar going back to like the mid, even early 90s. And even though the prices on some of them, like those Warlocks, are a bit hard to swallow, and I'll probably never have any of those, really, when I talk about things like Shining Spears and Howling Banshees, these are units that really never were, you know, that cheap to begin with. So I don't mind paying slightly more now to have them in plastic. So these guys here, I picked them up from a Canadian retailer, Tista Minis. I mean, just want to make sure nobody thinks they're sent to me. I pay for these, as always. And yeah, I'm going to be using 3 of the old ones to bulk these guys up to 6 for now, but as long as these guys aren't some sort of nightmare to build or paint, which I don't see why they would be, I'm definitely going to be picking up some more. So, right off the bat, the box art is quite good. It's nice and vibrant, and I have always felt that the really like deep blue and the very bright white of the Shining Spears was just a super like eye-catching color scheme. I really like the choices GW made with this unit, and looking at these ones here, I'm happy they're using the new sleek jet bikes. It does look like there's maybe some extra parts on them I can see from here. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're very nice looking. They got really impressive lances too. The old pewter ones, they were quite short and stubby, and because they're called las lances or something like that, they had like almost like a las gun barrel at the front. So this is a lot cooler. You can still see something here, some almost like barrel suggestions, like they're going to be able to shoot, but you don't actually have like an actual barrel on like a lance, which to me always defeated the purpose of charging with them. Sorry. So the back of the box is just a close-up of the models. I think this is usually somewhere it'll say yeah, 1-to-1. These are what they're actually going to be sized as, so quite a good size. And if there was anything I would complain about on the new Eldar stuff, and I'll bring that up when I get to it, but these bases, the flying stands, they don't break as easy as the old ones, but they also really just, I don't find they're that good. They've never had a good flying stand in all the years I've played, and I've seen the different ones they've come up with over the years, and I think flying stands are just something that are very difficult to do right for a game that has the models moving and being touched so often. So what I did with my my jet bikes, I ended up actually drilling into the bulbous end of the flight stand and into the base where they would fit normally, and just use some pinning to make sure they stayed. I'll probably do the same thing here instead of trying to mess about with the actual ball joint and trying to make it fit. I just don't find they work that well. They kept falling off, and I got sick of that after about, you know, 1 game with them. So I'm going to pause this now, get it open, and bring out the sprues. Okay, so coming back, first thing we get is a really nice instruction manual. And new Warhammer is, for the most part, very nice to put together. I will say that now that I've put together some of it from the Eldar range, the new stuff, this is probably some of the worst mold lines I've come across in their more recent kits. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know if these guys will be the same issue, but both the jet bikes and the Guardians their mold lines were much more prominent and easy to see than I'm used to for, again, more recent kits. I even find looking at the new Leviathan stuff that in like the year or two since these were put out, and probably that means there's been, you know, a little bit more lead up time, but the point is that they made some really significant changes again in the quality, at least for those Leviathan kits. Yeah. Anyways, that's that. We get our updated, but essentially the same transfer sheets that we've been getting for Eldar for years. Nothing has really changed. Maybe the pictures are a little nicer. I'm going to have to go find an old one just to see if there's that much difference, but overall it looks about the same. It may even be the same with maybe some slight tweaking, hence the newer model year or production year. So yeah, it's the exact same bikes, it's just on a new sprue. The jet bikes were on these almost like little individual sprues. In fact, they were individual. You got everything you needed to build a bike and a rider on one little sprue. This one here, there are 2 sprues, and you're going to get 3 bikes each, or 3 bikes total between them. And I'm looking at these. I guess there are some slight differences. This cutout, that's immediately different. The body looks to be about the same. The rider bodies, again, well, they're Eldar, so they don't look too different usually. You know, you got your heads with the like mohawk trim, and yeah, for the most part, this is all looking pretty similar. You know, slight changes essentially because of whatever this cutout is for. We'll have to see when I build one how they all turn out. On the box, there's nothing striking me. At the same time, I'm looking at this now, and the box art's all coming from the left side, which is maybe why I'm not seeing what's different over here. I don't know if that's to do with the lances, to make them fit better, but I guess we'll see when I get to building. Yeah. Nice and neat little layout. Oh, there's another difference right here. The handles on the jet bikes, you sort of lay the Guardian rider's hands onto it. This one's built in. I'm guessing because, you know, he's actually always going to be holding with that hand, and the other one holding the lance. And the other one, this is more of your bits stuff. You get some extra stuff for one bike, but mostly it looks like you're dealing with your, or at least half of it is dealing with the weapons and stuff like heads. Lots of cool options on here. There's your nice long lances. I'm looking and I try to see which one's the special one. This one here. This is the Star Lance, I think it's called. It's essentially got a little miniature fire prism gem at the end, diamond, whatever it is. Cool pennants. Pennants, I think. There's your one cannon you can give to the Exarch. Some helmet free heads. I'm probably going to use those with some secondhand bikes I picked up at the same time, and I'm going to make myself a Farseer and a couple of Warlocks that are going to be on bikes. So that'll give me 3 good-sized bike units with leaders to put on them. I'm not sure about an Autarch yet, but definitely a couple of Farseers, or like a Farseer and a couple of Warlocks. That would also give me the option for a Windrider Warlock Conclave, just a small one, but again, another option if I wanted to go that route. And I definitely don't want to pay for the mounted characters. I think they're like $50 a piece. Picking up used bikes, they seem to go for around $40 Canadian for 3. And with extra bits like this and a little bit of green stuff, I don't think I need to worry too much. I can also dig back into my my bits trove of Eldar stuff. I'm sure I can find some other options between older Eldar kits and my newer ones that I've been building. But also I even have some of those Eldar pirate dudes for Kill Team. There's some more cool bits on there. I know there's a couple of rune staffs, or witch staffs, or whatever they're called. So definitely some options among all this, and I'm going to cobble together, I think, some nice looking characters using those new bikes. So overall, Shining Spears are a unit that I really like. They're not as potent in this edition, from what I can tell, as they maybe have been in past ones, but that's okay. Not everything needs to be, the best unit in the book. Eldar have really nothing to complain about. If you're playing Eldar, you know what I mean. If you've been playing against a lot of Eldar, you probably still know what I mean. We've been pretty spoiled for choice. Our stuff is really powerful, probably too powerful, and they've been trying to tone it down, but I think it's going to take a little bit more. And even when they're done, as long as they don't just completely hack the Eldar apart in some sort of knee-jerk reaction, which I sort of feel like maybe a little bit was, the first nerf might have been a little bit of a knee-jerk, but at the same time, I'm still doing fine with them. I'm not that great of a player. I'm not really familiar with my Eldar anymore, and I'm still doing about 50% win rate, so it's hard to complain. I just think these guys are going to add some more, style and class to my army. Actually, you know what? There's one more thing I'm going to mention, because I'm looking at these now, and it's dawning on me. That's not a little flight stand base. When I first took these out, I didn't even notice. These are 50mm clear bases. I'm used to these guys being on 25mm with the flight stands, and this is what I'm talking about. This little joint here, ball joint, goes into a space on the bottom of the jet bike body that you get when you put them together. I'm gonna jump back here. It's right down there, basically. And I'm trying to get this on camera. It forms right here where my finger is. Right there where my finger is. And I don't find it very tight. I mean, it might just be that when I built the first jet bikes, I didn't squeeze them together enough. Now that I've spray painted some stuff, it might fit better. But yeah, I just, instead of screwing around, taking my WoW stick, which is a USB chargeable electric drill, I can just put a pin in the end of each of these and then a hole into those, and it just fits fine. It's the way to do it, I think. You might have to screw around a little bit with positioning a little more, but once you have it set, you can have it really tight and firm like you've glued it, without having to glue. I can still take the flight stands off, which is really important to me. Anybody who's played Eldar in the past knows that these things here, it doesn't matter what they are, they're going to break. These are less likely to break than the old ones, but I'm still not going to screw around with it. Yeah, apparently they have big ones. I'm going to have to go find 3 more of these, if I have them, and use them for my older Shining Spears while I work, while I use them until I buy 3 more, but that's not going to happen for a while. Pretty good magnifying glass, actually. Yeah, no, these are cool. To see them on bigger ones, I guess that makes them also feel a little more special, but just something I noticed. Didn't even notice it at first. Anyways, thanks very much for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments, you can leave those down below, and as always, have yourselves a great day.